Welcome to Storytime on the Back Porch, where we read some great stories to my furry friends. This is Lyla. You got to wake up, Lyla, to hear the story. And this is Lilly Belle, who's really taking a nap today, right? Well, we have a fun story today about growing up on the farm. Do you live on a farm? Maybe your mom or dad lived on a farm? Well, if not, we're going to learn all about it. This is Chicken Bristle Road by sisters Charlotte Cameron and Kathy Brown, and the pictures are drawn by Javier Durante. Let's find out all about their farm that they grew up on.
The old red truck bounced along the dirt road, kicking up dust and gravel. As it passed, cows looked up and stared, and chickens scurried. The truck finally rolled to a stop in front of the last farmhouse on Chicken Bristle Road in Miller, Missouri. Old Tom waited at the gate, tail wagging. Maizee and Kora jumped out and ran to their grandparents, waving from the porch. Grandma said, "You are just in time to help Grandpa with his chores." Maizee took the milk bucket from Grandma's hand, and Kora grabbed the egg basket from the steps. The girls hurried to catch up with Grandpa. The sisters fed Betsy while she was being milked. Grandpa whistled a merry tune as a steady stream of milk hit the bottom of the pail. When Grandpa turned Betsy out to pasture, the sisters headed for the chicken house. Going from box to box, Kora took eggs from the nest and carefully placed them in her basket. Maizee said, "Don't bother the hens sitting on their nest. They're trying to hatch the eggs to make a little family of chicks." Maizee placed the egg basket on the table. Kora piled an armload of kindling in the wood box beside the big cook stove. Grandma put on her apron. Maizee wore her own apron. Together they prepared a large breakfast of fried eggs, biscuits, and gravy. The girls spent the rest of the morning helping in the garden. In the spring, Grandpa plowed the ground and sowed the seeds. Over the summer, the plants grew into a beautiful garden. Grandma was particular about how the garden looked. She showed the girls how to trim dead leaves from the plants, while Grandpa hoed the weeds from the walkways. Grandma said, "It's important to take care of the plants. The garden provides us with fresh vegetables during the summer. What is left will be canned and stored for the winter." In the afternoon, the girls sat on the front porch with Grandma and snapped beans. When the bushel basket was full, the girls grabbed a salt shaker and went to the tomato patch. They each picked a warm red tomato and ate it in the garden. It was a wonderful treat. Kora said, "Yum, yum! A tomato never tasted so good." On the way back to the house, the girls stopped at the well for a drink of water. They took turns pumping the handle and sipped cold water from their hands while the windmill wheel turned round and round. As the day turned into night, Grandma lit the kerosene lantern and sat in her rocking chair. The two sisters kneeled at her feet, ready for a story filled with adventure and brave heroes. At bedtime, Grandma and Grandpa tucked Maizee and Kora in and kissed them good night. Before turning out the lamp, Grandma whispered, "Sweet dreams." Grandpa said, "And don't let the bed bugs bite." The girls giggled, pulled the covers to their chins, and snuggled down into the fluffy feather bed. They knew memories made on the farm at the end of Chicken Bristle Road would last a lifetime.
Wow, a lot of fun, don't you think? Learning how to milk a cow, maybe gathering the eggs from the chickens, and making breakfast with Grandma. This is Chicken Bristle Road. Thank you so much for joining us today for Story Time on the Back Porch. We have more read aloud stories. Be sure to subscribe.